Hello, and welcome back to Therapist Plays Disco Elysium. On today's episode, we're getting back into the main case to be a real cop. We've now collected enough information to confront Titus and see if we can't find more information about our potential assassin, Ruby. And the psychology of this whole interaction is really interesting to me because it has a lot to do with sort of how when we lean on people's emotional vulnerability, their rationale changes on how much information they're willing to give up. And the plan is to use these powers for good, not for evil, so that we can solve the case. This was a fun one to go through, so I hope you enjoy. Hello, and welcome back. Okay. So we've been on a couple of side quests now. One of the things that we were going to do is go back to Titus at some point. Because I was going to go look for the shots, but I never saw anything on the boardwalk so far, and I don't know if we can even reach the island, so those may not be things we can actually solve right now. And everything else is kind of a side quest as well. So let's see if we can get some more information out of Mr. Titus. Let's go here. Here's the thing that's so interesting about the way this game works, though. And I give a ton of credit to the developers for accounting for as much as they have already, like how much of your personal character development impacts dialogue decisions. But there is something like sort of intangible about like the things that we've been through as a character person playing this game aren't always captured in like some of the choices that we get. Like, think of the last time we talked to Titus and the things that we've done since then. Like some of the things we've accomplished, some of the very difficult emotional conversations we've had to have, the confidence in our sobriety. There's these like sort of meta narrative pieces that are not necessarily tracked by like what decisions we're making. It's tracked largely, from what I understand, through a lot of this stuff. But like, I would say that Harry has a higher personal security in himself now after what we've been through, and the way I'd see that come through is like less of like half-light and appeals to authority. Like less of this inferiority complex that often came up when we were talking to like Measurehead and Titus as well, and especially Clausia. Like the things that we've endured as a person doing these quests, they've built up like what is essentially a headcanon about like the ways Harry has changed, the things he's been through. So that's kind of like what's going through my mind whenever I'm doing like the dialogue choices, is I'm like, okay, but what would our Harry lean more into based on what we've been through, right? I'm curious if we start to see some of that as well. Like that would be blowing my fucking mind if the game could account for that as well, which like this game does a better job than every other single one I've played already. Okay. What do we need? What do we need for this conversation? Maybe we need some rhetoric. Let's get a rhetoric shirt on. What's our jacket doing? Empathy, hand-eye coordination. Empathy's been pretty powerful. I like that empathy in this game is not just I've talked about like empathy as a capacity and a willingness to understand people. Not just for good though. Not just for like to relate and be able to be soft in emotional contexts, but also like empathy helps you out and tells you like, hey, he's scared of you or something. Like your ability to reflect on what someone else is going through is really interesting. Yeah, we may want some suggestion in there. What's this doing? Pain threshold? Probably good. Okay, well, let's just see what we need first.
Just dragged her away, huh? Stone cold. Didn't think you had it in you.
Oh, I forgot that we haven't even we haven't even talked to Titus since we arrested Klasia. You see what I mean? Like if we had walked downstairs and had this conversation with him, this would be a very different tonal experience versus like, to me, that was ages ago. I mean, literally in real life, it was months ago. So it certainly feels like ancient history to me. And we have developed as a player and as a character a lot since then. Even so much as, you know, being somewhat uncertain if that was the right choice. I didn't have what? To arrest her?
Yeah, you ruthless son of a bitch. I certainly didn't have it in me. I always let the pretty ones go. I'm soft-like by it.
Yeah, like when we let old Clancy's widow walk.
Oh, Denise, the diner girl. The milk rack on that one.
Gross.
Can't say I wasn't sad to see her go. Our Klasia there. Her face when your friend walked her out. Goddamn.
So I'm gonna continue operating on what our character knows. Our character has no idea what arresting her means for her future. To our knowledge, that was a normal thing to do. Look, I'm gonna keep going back to it. Yeah, I know that she said people are gonna kill me, and it, you know, there were multiple hints at that, but I still think that our character would reason himself into believing that, like, look, she hasn't been someone we could trust until now. The safest thing for her would be to, you know, put her in police custody. We have been so ignorant about like the moral intern and the RCM. Like, of course, we don't know what happens to someone after they get arrested. So I'm sticking with the roleplay. That was the normal thing to do. She was a flight risk. I'm a cop. That's right.
Yes. Normal. Nothing to do about it now, I guess. I just hope she can game her way through the system and come out the other way. Don't think I forgot how I specifically let you know how I felt about her arrest either. Now, what do you want?
His tone is friendly now, and the last words are actually accompanied with a little smile.
Somehow this has made us appeal a little bit more to Titus, it seems.
Titus's posture is more relaxed than when you first met him. He is relieved that this Klasia business is finally over.
Okay. I talked to Klasia. Now I need to talk to Ruby.
Why?
Oh, whatever ease we have left on him is immediately gone now. Now that we're going on the offensive. I'm going to level with you. She's the next link in the chain that leads me to Lily's killer. I've seen her in a laudanum-induced delirium. The paranormal instinct whispers her name into my ear. I don't know about that. Look, I need to pin this on someone, and I've decided to pin this on her. Okay. I suspect she killed the victim. A civil war is brewing? The only way to prevent that is to solve the murder. That means talking to Ruby. That is the most broadest view perspective on this. And I guess this is also true. She is a suspect in that. Okay. We're trying to get information from Titus. He doesn't really care that much about who Lelia's killer is, as far as I can tell. Like, he certainly is not sympathetic about the mercenary's death. And he's not particularly invested in the like overarching stuff that's happening at this level with the Civil War, because like he cares about the Hardie boys. He cares about Martinez in a very specific way. So I'm gonna appeal to like his frame of reference, his world, and say she's your real leader. That's why.
You're cuckoo, cop. I'm the only man responsible for this unit. Get with it, or fuck off.
How many times must I tell you?
Yeah, fuck off!
Okay. We didn't get that. That didn't get us anywhere. I need to pin this on someone. That's not true to our intentions, but maybe it would appeal to Titus. I'm the only man responsible for this unit. Okay, let's see if he goes for this next one. I'm going to level with you. She's the next link in the chain.
Sounds like you're making her a suspect in this. Not on my watch, you're not. Ruby's one of us. We're not gonna throw her under your moral intern steamroller. Fuck that shit.
And fuck you too, moral
Shanky, you're fucking next. He throws a glance at Titus, and the last syllable leaves his lips. The big guy says.
Ruby is missing. If you hide from the police in a murder investigation, you become a suspect. You know how it works, guys.
Thank you, Kim. Save me. I'm underwater here.
That's nothing. That's just legalese. You don't even have a sound theory. I don't want to be rude, but we're trying to get some R&R here. Think you could fuck off now?
I think we'll keep sticking around, Titus.
Shit.
You'll be surprised at how quickly a theory presents itself if you keep looking.
Present a solid case or theory about why Ruby could have done it. Well, we've got a lot of information. It's logic? Okay, what kind of logic gear do we have? Any logic boosting itemization we can do? Is there a way to like quickly see all of the stuff that, like the stats? Okay, I guess not. Don't tell me we don't have any. I guess we could pop on this ridiculous conical hat. Logistical glasses. Logistical jacket. Here we go. We're getting there. Logistical shirt. This is a sure thing. I shouldn't say that. I should never say that. It's never a sure thing.
It's you again. What is it?
What is our logic? It's a 5, but it's only because of the gear. 83%. It's only because we've done some investigating. Otherwise, our logic is completely shot. We're just completely stumbling through this case, but we saw the winch outside. I don't even remember that. We saw that it was staged like a play. We learned that from the Sunday Friend. See, I remember stuff. We reconstructed the murder scene. It was one of the first things we did. Claudia gave us a motive. We found the secret route to the pinball machines. And we know that Ruby is a drug trader. You've got nowhere else to hide. I love that even with all of those, if we're not wearing this ridiculous gear, what I imagine, like the meta narrative of this is like, we have the actual evidence, but if we fail to succeed in this, we just present it completely idiotically. Okay. Let's go. 83%er.
A sudden
Yes!
flash of lightning in your neocortex.
The
The
neocortex.
cafeteria is lit by its airy blaze. Floor plans, bullet trajectories, webs of human emotion, all channeled into a single thought.
Fucking let's do this. This is maybe that's the meta composite of what I was just talking about. Like the fact that we can succeed at a logic check at 83%, despite our actual logic score being like a fucking 1 without any gear. Like I don't think we put a single point into it. Is the character's development. It is his confidence based on all of these things that we've done shining through in like look how much more assertive this piece of dialogue. This game is the fucking most eloquently designed thing I've ever experienced. It actually is able to account for a very intangible and very non-linear experiences that all sort of coalesce around like the fact that yeah, Harry is a more confident person. He's more self-assured in what he cares about, and from our perspective, from my perspective, it's like we care about saving the youth. We care about like being a good cop, a different kind of cop. We care about like staying sober. We care about impressing Kim. We care about like doing the right thing. All of this stuff that has come out of this rigorous self-critique, right? Where we first learned to be very anxious and very negatively self-aware of who we were, and what it's brought us is like a lot of conviction. This is great. Why are you so sure Ruby didn't off him?
Because she was here all night with us.
Aha! Wait, that doesn't track.
He's cobbling together shit so he can put her away. It's Cop 101.
She was here all night, 11:30 to 12:15. She was here during all that time.
Get him, Kim.
Yeah, with us, drinking, near the stage there.
She didn't go out for fresh air, for one smoke.
No.
In the whole 45-minute window, she was with you all the time.
All right. She took a fucking leak, okay? For one moment. Maybe went out too. She has an operation to run from her lorry. We're not getting into what that operation is again called.
Drugs. It's drugs.
That's probably for the best. Don't break your stride now.
Okay.
And just 'cause she was gone for 5 minutes doesn't mean she magically got to the roof and shot him. I've been through this. It's not plausible.
Yes, it is.
He's been through it. That means he suspected her too.
Oh, yes. Reaction speed coming in fucking clutch. I always thought that reaction speed was like more of I guess it is agility of the mind as well. Sucker punches of the verbal kind. You'll be more streetwise. Never lost for words or lacking a witty comeback. Connecting little details on the fly. That is really interesting. That it is not just your twitch reflexes physically, but it's your ability to have very quick insight. It's really cool. Okay. That's a very fascinating part of this whole, like, what the makeup of a good detective is. That something just becomes intuitive, rather than like what these skills up here kind of communicate to me is like ability to lots of planning, lots of like calculus, lots of piecing together of different parts, whereas like lots of people's intellect sometimes is just highly intuitive.
All right, we're in. We got Ruby unaccounted for sometime during the window. This was crucial. Now let's place her on that roof.
Okay.
You got his attention. Now don't ruin it by making weird claims. Remember, you still missed it.
Okay. Don't be weird. Don't be weird. A skilled Sambo artist could have climbed the outer wall like a spider. I would love to go for that. I want to lead him in with a question. I find that questions have been very good at eliciting better responses for us than making a statement, declaring something, and then having him like provide some rationale against it. Have you noticed that winch out back on the outer wall of the whirling?
I've seen the winch. I'm not blind. You saying she reeled herself up by her collar, like some kind of...
Kidding?
Let's go with that. Point is, it's just a rusty winch. It doesn't put her on the roof.
Okay, what about the secret route to the roof?
Oh,
Through what looks like an abandoned pinball workshop.
People say there was a pinball arcade here, sometime before the hostel. What was it called, Theo?
East Delta Pinball Arcade. Weird place. Went bankrupt.
Okay, but how'd you get up? There's no room for a staircase in this building. Or an elevator, for that matter.
Oh, that's where you're wrong,
The
Titus.
elevator is outside the building. It's an old dumbwaiter used for moving pinball machines up and down from the workshop.
Good one, Kim.
Thank you.
There, got him. From there, a door leads straight to the roof. You can just step outside.
Ruby could have gone up, shot him, come down. All under 7 minutes.
That's right.
That's quite the theory. We need to have a look at that secret passage, boys.
I'm on it, boss. Right when the law clears, me and Angus are going up there.
It's a dumbwaiter, not an industrial lift. How about I go instead of...
Shush now. You got something else to back this route up? Or is it?
You do agree that the shot came from the roof, right?
Why not? You can't draw a straight line into Clausia's window from any of the surrounding buildings. Not from what I know about Martin.
So he's definitely done his own investigation.
Maybe from the coast. But like I said, I've been too busy dealing with you idiots. So no, I don't think it was a sniper. It was close up.
You guys haven't done shit but stand here for like the 3 or 4 days I've been in Martinez. There's a 72% chance that the bullet came from the roof.
72%. There's a percentage and all. Where'd you get it from? Your guys in the lab?
I analyzed it on the spot. Turns out I can do that. I think we got that was one of our extremely lucky analysis points, wasn't it?
No, you can't. I know what you did here on the weekend. People talk. And what they say sound like a science column. You're a mess.
Look, man, you don't know what's been fucking going. Our brain is a complete enigma. We've passed so many visual calculus and logic checks that we should not have been able to pass.
Those numbers were an ass pull, man.
It's not an ass pull. Shut up, Eugene.
Yeah. And they don't put her on the roof either. It's just mambo jumbo. He hasn't got shit.
I also found footprints in the old workshop.
Footprints. Recent.
Recent nod. But they didn't fit with any of yours on the scene, Ruby included. Is that right? They were not rubies. There were prints there with horizontal lines. Let's just go with something vague. Recent. Not.
What else could you make out? How recent? What size?
They were about a week or two old.
That close, huh? How fortunate. I'll take a thorough look at those prints myself before I believe that, Cobb. Good news is, I'm still listening.
There were pinball machines in the workshop. Still operational.
Right. What the fuck does that got to do with Ruby?
Nothing. I just thought we could bring some down. Get some new machines in here. What if they... what if they're somehow connected to the murder? A pinball murder. Just making an observation. Let's move on. I don't want to... We could still fuck this up.
He makes a gruff gesture for you to continue.
Okay, we almost lost the plot there. Have we firmly established Ruby could have had access to the roof where the man was shot? Move on.
Firmly doesn't go well with could've. There's a route to the roof. Me and the boys need to check it out. That's what we've established. But a route does not put that bullet in his head. A gun does that, and Ruby doesn't carry one.
Phase 2. Murder weapon. Get a gun in her hand. If not that, then at least a shadow of a doubt. In the shape of a gun.
I've already established Ruby's running drugs. She could have smuggled guns too. There's a small 28% chance that the shot came from beyond the roof. The local pawn shop sold my lost gun to a woman. If our gun is the murder weapon, that's gonna fucking suck. That's gonna fucking suck, dude. Yeah, let's press him on the drugs issue.
God damn. That's just about your favorite topic, isn't it? Every fucking 5 seconds.
You were warned not to bring it up. Your best shot here is to just back out of it. He's about to blow his fuse.
Okay, maybe we back off. You were warned not to bring it up. When the fuck was that? Was that when it said, was that authority? Okay. It's quite precarious. Fine, Titus. I'm not going to get into it if it touches on your precious business.
Okay, Cobb. She's got connections. I could
Cool
see
it
how
off.
she could have access to a gun. That still doesn't mean she did.
That's all you needed. Doubt.
There's a 28% chance that the shot came from beyond the roof.
Yes, goddammit, I know what a 72% chance means. It means there's a 28% chance it isn't that. And 28% is no small chance either.
Just making sure we are on the same page. It doesn't all fit. We are just sharing info, candidly.
Okay, thank you, Kim. Kim is bringing us back into non-hostile territory. He's the ace I count on.
Titus doesn't reply. Probably a good sign.
Okay, this is not going to get us anywhere. I didn't say I'd prove she had the murder weapon, just that we needed to find her.
All right, Cobb. Keep talking. I'll tell you when I've had enough.
P, we're not seriously considering it, are we? Ruby wouldn't do this. Why would she do something like this?
Phase 3. Motive. The last component. The big one. Get this and they'll give her to you. Remember, don't piss him off. That never works.
Okay. Let's try not to piss him off. It's not why did she kill them, it's why did she organize the cover-up. Before I arrested Clausia, she told me some pretty interesting things about Ruby. Maybe it's all part of a leadership challenge. That would probably piss him off. Ruby appeared to know that something was wrong, or that it would curry favor. So we know that Titus tried to investigate this as well. He had his own concerns about why Ruby would do something like that. Right. So at some point, Titus must have asked the most essential deduction question, which we have ourselves asked many times, although not recently, and that is the question of who benefits? Who benefits from the mercenary being dead? I'll tell you what, Everett Clare benefits. In fact, I think Everett Clare has weaseled himself into a certain kind of position where no matter what anybody does, he benefits. That's the kind of a manipulative mastermind that he is. So if Titus is asked who benefits, he has tried to piece together probably why there would be a cover-up. Or he might have asked it who doesn't benefit and come across Clausia, who he knows was probably somewhat emotionally distraught. Clausia does not benefit from the mercenary being dead. So that may have led Titus to question what their relationship is. I guess there is some kind of argument to say, well, maybe Ruby benefits to challenge leadership or to curry favor, but that I don't see it as being a part of this. If she's the ringleader, the sort of shadow leader, because Titus says he's the leader, they're the Hardie boys, not the Ruby boys, then why would she be trying to challenge him? I'm going to stay away from the power struggle questions. And I'm going to stay away from the personal history questions for now. Let's go with the cover-up. Why would she organize a cover-up? That seems to me like where Titus's who benefits questioning would lead to.
And I suppose you have a theory on that.
She could have just been covering up for herself, Titus. Ooh, I like the use of his name there. A little transactional analysis.
Think about it. Why go through all that effort? It was her idea, wasn't it? The hanging. You went along, but she suggested it.
She had, like, a fully formed plan and shit. Right when she came back downstairs.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Titus, listen to your boy, Shanky. Shanky knows who benefits.
Really, Shanks? Clausia wanted to talk to another girl, that's all. She was just the first one up there. I could have come up with that plan if I'd have been first.
Time for a logics demonstration.
Well, Shanky's the one going with our theory. We don't want to piss Titus off. Let's press on Eugene.
He scoffs.
Let's see if we can make Eugene seem unreasonable. Eugene, let's assume you killed him.
He scoffs.
Think. You kill him. Get up there. Shoot him. Get down.
Would you prefer to go on trial with your friends as part of a lynch mob or alone for committing a murder?
The man is silent.
If she used us to cover her own shit up, well, that's a serious violation of the Hardie code, boss.
We've got Shanks. We've got Shanky on our team. Let's triangulate. Let's pit them against each other. Divide and conquer.
Which is why she didn't. She would never do that. Why aren't more of you defending her? This is fucking stupid, Titus.
Listen, Shanky is the voice of reason here.
Glenn, I thought the same thing when she skipped town and left us in this shit.
Yes. Yes. You know who fucking benefits? Ruby. Ruby benefits.
Oh, so he didn't rule her out completely. And she skipped town.
We are masterminding this whole thing. We've actually become a decent detective, I think. We solved the case of the Raver children. And we're solving the case against the meta. Okay, we've got Titus peeling over into further levels of doubt. Okay, I'm going to bring up something that is only slightly related to this, but is a fascinating area of psychology, and it is scamming. Because it's really related to this, to me. Like, I'm sure that you know someone, or maybe you yourself have fallen for some kind of scam. Lots of people have. I certainly have. And it's a really frustrating experience because if you fall for some kind of scam, financial scam, whatever, it can feel like so shameful, like because you feel like an idiot. But the problem with scams is they're not usually, it's not how high your intellect is that makes you vulnerable to it. Lots of smart people fall for scams because they're not trying to just target people who are unintelligent or have limited rationale. The way scam artists work is they target a specific vulnerability of yours and they sort of step down your levels of rationale in a way that, like, you stop critically analyzing things, and they usually will try to isolate you. They'll usually make some sort of appeal that's specific to your vulnerability. Like, Titus has an emotional vulnerability with Claudia because they had a sort of relationship. And he already has a kind of doubt about, like, did we have something more than just a sexual relationship, right? And so when the element of Ruby being involved in this case, and you tie that to, like, the whole power structure of the Hardie boys, it steps him down one layer of rationale from being able to see the broad picture because he has these emotional biases. And scammers will then try to isolate you from other people who are outside that vulnerability because they'll say things like, they'll call people up, right? If it's a telephone scam, and they'll say, oh, well, you're being investigated for something, and you can't hang up the phone because if you do, this will be considered running from the law or not complying or something. So stay on the phone so that you don't call, someone who is at a normal rationale about this. And they isolate you from that, which also usually prevents people from talking about the fact that they got scammed because it's so embarrassing. But what I'm seeing here, the way we're working our case on Titus in our ridiculous looking conical hat, and our flashlight and our sword and our patchy jacket, is we're trying to isolate him from his peers who are maybe able to see, like, different layers of this because they don't have the same emotional vulnerability, and just get him in a lower rationale category so that he slips up. It's fascinating, the psychology of this stuff. It's really not actually about how smart you are. It's about appealing to vulnerabilities and isolating people. And we've kind of done that here. We're trying to split the group here, and now we've got him on this insecurity about why she left town. So let's nail him. Titus, you have to see it. Things don't add up. We need to talk to her.
Silence. He looks around the room. The old man in the corner nods. This is the only option he cares for.
Yeah, I see it.
Fucking
There's one more thing
got him.
wondering about. Ever since you asked me where she is. Add it to your list of suspicions, if you want. I don't know. I don't know where she went. She just got up and left. Got real scared, too. Wouldn't tell me where. However, hard I asked. Want to know why?
Why?
She was afraid I would tell you. Maybe she was right. By now, I probably would.
Now we've separated him even from Ruby.
She knew there's evidence on her, and she knew we'd find it. This is typical suspect behavior.
Typical suspect behavior.
Mandatory.
Now, we're not scamming him, of course. We're not trying to get him believe something that's not true or whatever. But scammers are trying to get information. And one of the ways that people fall for scams is they think, well, you know, no one's asked me for money yet. But they're often not starting with trying to get money from you. They're trying to get information. If they can get your phone number, they will pass it around to other scammers, and then you can keep being targeted until one of them works. And some scams are not going to work because they're not your specific vulnerability. But eventually they'll find it and exploit it. We're just using a similar tactic, I guess, as a detective to get him to... it's this balancing act. Is it are you more insecure on your side or on our side, or on Ruby's side or on our side, basically? Are you more afraid of what Ruby will do versus what we will do? And as Kim says, typical suspect behavior.
Perhaps. Ask her if you find her. It won't be easy, though. She made sure of that.
Fucking easy game. Not at all, but look, let me be excited about this. We're not failing as a detective lately. Okay, let's get some information. When did she leave?
Friday afternoon, when you first arrived. I got word the RCM was in town. Then she came in to see me. Told me she was leaving. That's when we had our little conversation.
So as soon as those cops came to town, she fled. Okay, what was she scared of?
I told you. You.
Me personally? No, as in the RCM.
No, you. As in the cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes.
Wait, what? No wonder she's afraid. I've come to declare the ending of the human experiment. This like apocalypse cop. Don't forget the funny tie. I'm sorry, God, why does everything flee at the sight of my shadow? No, we're beyond this level of insecurity. I have no idea why she'd be scared. I'm just a normal cop with regular thoughts in his head. That's certainly not a very regular thing to say. Let's play into it a little bit with the sarcasm almost. Don't forget the funny tie too.
How can I forget?
He nods at our tie that we're not actually wearing.
You know, when I first saw you limping here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply. But now I'm not so sure.
She knew that we're actually a fucking expert. What else did Ruby tell you? About me?
She said you have a funny taste in clothes and that you won't stop.
Won't stop?
Until you have something on her.
Bingo.
She said she's heard of you from Jamrock, that you're a human can opener, that you play suspects against each other, open them up like cans.
That's exactly what we've done.
Fucking hell. Titus, did he just...
Open Angus up like a can? Yes, he did. Now, we can whine about it, whack him, or we can go on with our lives. I'm having a go on with our lives kind of day, Al. How about you?
This is so cool for character development. Like the fact that we were very good at what we're doing now, but it was those skills were attached to a highly self-destructive personality. And this is going back to the whole process of like identity deconstruction and reconstruction of like the narrative psychology work, which is we had to deconstruct a lot, the rigorous self-critique, the impact we've had on other people's lives, the exploration into what are we a failure at, what are we good at, were we ever good at anything, were these two things, the highly skilled detective and self-destructive personality, essential to one another, or can we start to reconstruct that skill set with a much better personality that's not so self-destructive or not so emotionally withdrawn or insensitive or just chaotic, let's say. And it's taken us some time to get there, but it is like relearning to be effective without the negative side. And that is something that correlates with addiction, because people who are highly effective in their addictions struggle sometimes when they are sober to exhibit the same talents or to have enough belief in themselves to do those things without the drugs, right? You hear this from creatives all the time, like that they're not as competent or confident in their writing or creativity without substances. And yet, like, it is a redevelopment of those skill sets in sobriety. And that's kind of what we're learning to do as a cop, because you can imagine that as a not sober detective, we probably had a very different intention for splitting people like this, doing the can opening thing, than we do now. Before, I can imagine Harry not really using empathy or really caring about the like overall moral outcome. By doing that, it was kind of like solving the case was the priority. And now the way we've been operating is like, how do we navigate these complex human relationships with less collateral damage? Like, can we open the cans but also keep the peace? Whereas I feel like I get the sense that before we just felt like opening the cans, and then when we got what we wanted, we would just let it be destructive. Which is why someone like Ruby would be afraid of us. Now we're trying to sort of deftly weave through the same skill set of like, can we get people to open up? But can we do so in a way that doesn't make them want to kill us also? And we've kind of gotten Titus to respect us a little bit, I think, in this process. So it's the same techniques, but a very different intention behind the use of the skill. It's fucking brilliant the way this is all coming together. As far as like what development through sobriety looks like.
It's not an actual question. Silence. He nods.
Is that true, Kim? Am I a can opener?
You are insistent.
Got him. Anything else? Anything?
Yeah, there was something else. She wouldn't tell me, though. I could see she wanted to. It was burning on her lips. This caught Titus. This caught me. But she was too scared.
Scared? You should be too. A strange fear creeps over you. A metallic taste in your mouth. Change the subject.
Huh. Okay. I wonder what it is. I guess we'll find out at some point. Do you have any clues on where Ruby went?
She's not far. We know that much. She didn't take her lorry, so she's on foot.
Okay.
Good fucking luck, man. She knows this place like the back of her hand. You'll never find her.
Oh, what? Okay, so I just realized that the audio from the game has not been recording this entire time. which is a huge pain in the ass. So apologies for the, maybe there's no audio in this video at all. I guess we'll see. Last time I did this, I had to go back and play this whole section again and make the same choices and just capture the audio and then sync it up. And I just don't know if I have the electrons in my brain to do something like that again, because it took me like 1,000 years. So if there's no audio in the beginning 50 minutes of this video, that is why. We'll see if I go through the effort of doing that or not. But I did just realize that and turned it on now. Okay, let's continue.
Yeah, Al. And we won't either.
She's not really a Hardie candidate anymore, is she?
She's not, Glenn.
Ooh, we've completely cut her out of the group. Have you looked for her?
A little. On the coast.
The coast?
Where have you looked for her, more precisely?
More precisely, on the coast, past the waterlog. She's not here, so I'm thinking she's there.
Who's doing this looking? They're all here.
You're all here. Who's out looking?
Lizzie needed some air.
Oh, yeah. So she didn't go tell Everard.
No one goes to tell Everard anything. He knows what he has to know. Fast.
It's called a radio, you believe. The gardener may have played you a game when she stormed out. She has her own plan.
Lizzie is really the mastermind of this whole thing. Can you tell me where on the coast I should start looking?
Sure. There are some shit houses there. A cinder block town. Fisherfolk there refuse to unionize. So that's one place we haven't looked.
Okay.
I hear they have a shack where junkies sometimes crash. Time for you to step up.
We will start there. One more question. What does Ruby look like?
Boyish. Hair's red. Dyed. She looks like a Lowry man.
Do you know what she's doing with Ulan frequencies?
The what now? I have no idea. Boys?
She said she's building a pale emitter.
What?
What?
We were talking about radio equipment. She said she's doing Ulan frequencies and a pale something. I don't know more.
This guy barely understands what he's talking about.
So do I.
There you have it. Pale something.
Okay. It's not much, but it'll do. Let's
It'll
go.
have to.
Yeah, let's go for a shake. The ultimate power play. Diplomacy.
His grip is firm and reassuring, like holding a piece of unpolished granite. Not just granite, tightly packed RCM Sergeant material.
Should we suggest he be a cop? Why not? Fuck it. You should be a cop.
When are you gonna get it through your dumb head? I already am. I just wasn't sure you were.
And he still isn't. People aren't afraid of good cops in the way Ruby was afraid of you, he thinks, then turns back to his men.
Huh. What a fucking encounter. I'm getting so lucky lately with how we're weaving through some of these treacherous dialogue options, and I do not anticipate that that will last. Let's pop this bad boy back on. And okay, looking fly. Yeah, this is a great conversation. Oh my god, I can't believe I fucked up the audio again. It's so frustrating. Well, I'm gonna pause it here. I may see if I can go back and restore the audio. I'll have to play through this whole section again and just capture the dialogue choices. So, on the next episode, we will be I guess returning to the coast, and maybe on the way we'll do some more side questing. I'm satisfied with having progressed the main case a little bit, so that we just have some kind of objective, and then we can sort of bounce around as we go. But man, am I enthused by the development our character has gone through. I feel like we're actually becoming like a decent fucking cop again, but with an entirely different intention. So I'm excited to see where things go next.